The anomalous signals recorded since the beginning of March alerted the INGV volcanologists, above all because some of them were comparable with those recorded before the paroxysm of April 2003. Therefore, the INGV team interrupted any survey activities involving people close to the summit area. On March the 8th, the lava emission ended, and new fractures formed on the northern rim of the northeast crater. The area at the base of the crater itself appeared modified because of northeast-southwest fractures defining a graben structure. At the base of the slope, there were additional perpendicular fractures. On March the 9th, at 4 a.m. local time, from the vent located at 400 meters along the Sciara del Fuoco, a new lava emission was observed. A few hours later, a new vent opened at 500 meters of altitude. However, from this vent, the emission of lava lasted only one day. On March the 13th, the INGV volcanologists observed new fractures and soil deformations on the crater area. The day after, a decrease of the effusion rate was recorded. On March the 15th, at 9:37 p.m. local time, the monitoring network recorded a paroxystic explosion from the northeast crater. The explosion destroyed the infrared camera and other monitoring instruments positioned on the summit area. During the paroxysm were erupted scoriae, pumices, and lithic bombs that, falling down, triggered fires. For 6 minutes before the explosion, the strain meters were recording anomalous signals. The seismic signals recorded later were comparable in shape and frequency to the anomalous signal recorded during the paroxysm of April 2003. Their amplitudes, however, indicated a lower magnitude. Before the explosion, the CO2-SO2 ratio in the plume changed, while no soil deformations were recorded. Even if this event was less violent than the 2003 paroxysms, this time scoria and lithic bombs impacted the volcano slopes at a lower elevation, very close or even on the road newly built after the 2003 event, up to this point considered safe for inhabitants and tourists. Ash-sized material reached the southern side of the island and fell down on the village of Ginostra. The INGV volcanologists, by overflighting the summit area, observed the occurrence of flow deposits at the base of the northeast crater. On March the 20th, the seismic network recorded an anomalous sequence characterized by hybrid events up to 400 per hour. During the next days, a significant decrease of the effusion rate was observed, and indeed the lava flow front was not reaching the sea anymore. On April the 2nd, the lava flow stopped. New fractures formed on the delta. In order to have under control the evolution of fractures and deformations along the Sciara del Fuoco, the INGV researchers enhanced the automatic topographic network. Meanwhile, a progressive increase of ash emissions, associated with very long period seismic signals, was observed. Ash emissions that rarely occurred during the effusive activity were very frequent in this period, above all from the northeast crater. The survey of the summit area revealed the presence of a few millimeters thick ash-sized deposit, made up essentially of lithics. The seismic signals associated to the ash emissions, however, were still located deeper than the signals usually associated to the Strombolian explosions. From April the 16th, a decrease of the ash emissions and of the degassing was observed. The geochemical network recorded a decrease in the CO2 and SO2 fluxes in the plume and a decrease of the CO2 concentration in groundwaters. From April the 20th, an increase of the crater temperature was observed, and from the 26th, ash emissions occurred again. These new emissions were associated to a different seismic activity. The seismic network, indeed, was recording a significant increase in the number of the very long period events, although characterized by lower amplitude. The position of the source was also changing. By the end of April, supported by the civil protection, the INGV researchers replaced the geochemical and seismic instruments destroyed during the paroxysm of March the 15th. From the beginning of May, ash and lithic explosions were observed. Nevertheless, all the recorded signals were indicating that Stromboli was slowly going back to its normal activity.